You guys want to hear something wild? Mamdani isn't the only young left politician that you should be concerned about right now. There is some breaking news that I was only recently informed of happening in the great state of Arizona. Did you like that? If I had some papers in front of me, I could have been like, you know what I'm talking about? It's not New York. It's still real. Check her out.
We just got poll results in that completely change our race. My name is Deja Fox. I'm 25 years old, and I'm running for Congress in Southern Arizona. We have surged 25% in just over a month, which is pretty much unheard of. But this is what it means for our race. We're running against a career politician with a legacy last name who inherited her dad, the former congressman's fundraising list. We have been outspent 3-1, but we're polling at 35%, just 8% behind the establishment favorite.
So here's the deal, okay? This is a district where I believe the ancient Democrat passed, right? This is one of the Democrats who died from being ancient, yes? Grijalva, correct? Do I have that pronunciation correct? Yes, I believe so. Okay, just making sure. I'll donate in behalf of Kowalski if he joins PV. Oh, hello, Benjamin, my handler, it seems. Listen, folks, here's the dynamic, okay? A special election is being held to fill the seat that was vacated when Grijalva died of being ancient. And his daughter, the party favorite, is the one who's looking most likely. That's what Fox means when she says legacy name. Literally the daughter of the previous congressman, you know? Adelita Grijalva, I'm apologize if I'm mispronouncing it, okay? My head hurts. The late Grijalva's 54-year-old daughter seemed poised to pick up his seat after clinching support from national Hispanic and progressive Democrats. Arizona lawmakers, the gun violence focused Giffords PAC, and Emily's List. You know who else endorsed her? Bernie. See, she's fine, right? But we can do better. In the 12th hour, Bernie and AOC, yeah. In the 12th hour, Tia Fox announced her candidacy and has been surging in an upswell of populist attention. This is a quickie special election down in Arizona, folks. The election is happening, what, next week? It's happening next week, okay? It's happening soon. But the margins on this are surprisingly tight. And in an era where our biggest... Listen, okay, guys, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be real with you, okay? I want to see heaven on earth. Our enemy, our real enemy, is not the Republicans, okay? They're evil and they're stupid. They leave themselves open to attack, all right? They can be dealt with easily if you have a competent opposition party. We don't have a competent opposition party. The big wall right now in front of us is the establishment Democrats. What are her politics? The left, left, left. She's left. And yeah, she's 25. You know, every 25-year-old's a Nazi or a communist, and she's not a Nazi. Unless she's lying about it. That'd be crazy.
This is a single-digit race within the margin of error. But our election is coming up fast, July 15th, and more than half of likely voters still have not yet voted. So we need your help to get across the finish line. I need you to take action to help us make history. Sign up to volunteer, knock a door, make a call, send this video to your group chat, have a conversation with your family, get your ballot in.
Am I being drafted to phone bank again? Yes! Yes, you are, as a matter of fact. Look, she's a cool lady. I know this is out of nowhere, but you know that, like, the hope and earnestness that you feel about Mamdani can be felt elsewhere. You don't all have to be looking and drooling, jealous that you don't live in New York City. That level of energy. Keep in mind, Mamdani was polling at 0% up until just a few months before the election. It takes a lot of hard work and grit, and also, on our part, an embarrassing amount of earnestness. So, phone bank, okay? You goddamn losers. You weren't going to do anything with your weekend anyway. It's Friday. I know perfectly well you were thinking, oh, I'm going to complete my Final Fantasy 14 dailies. Oh, my dailies. I know what you're on about. I know what your life is like. Look at her Wikipedia page. She's pretty impressive. She's 25. Look at all this shit. That's crazy. And a modeling career. We love politicians who serve. Very, very important. On April 2nd, 2025, Fox announced her candidacy for the special election in Arizona's 7th congressional district, vacant following the death of incumbent Raul Grijalva. In an interview with Teen Vogue, she explained that she had been considering contesting the primary for the seat in 2026, but decided to run in the special election because her, quote, lived experience differentiates me from people in the field and because we need young people with a real sense of urgency in the moment. She also explained her campaign as either Crash Out or Congress. She participated in a televised debate. I swear to God, I thought that was Elden Ring. Did that not sound like the opening drum roll of like 7 fights? You know, like,
Hello,
like
and welcome to this special primary election debate for Arizona's Congressional District 7. A July 15th special election was called for by the state's governor, Katie Hobbs, after the recent death of Representative Raul Grijalva. This debate is sponsored by Clean Elections, the state's nonpartisan voter education agency.
I want to hear her talk.
My name is
Change jar when they're hardly making question who are in place here in Tucson. We relied on Section 8 to keep a roof over our head, SNAP benefits or food stamps.
I want to get her opening statement. We're not watching the whole debate. I mean this with the phone banking, okay? And you know what? Even if she doesn't win, that doesn't mean she can't participate in 2026 for the midterms, okay? Sometimes you people make me feel like I should give you disclaimers when I send you on long shots. But I shouldn't feel that way, because winning means fighting for every long shot. The Republicans did not get to where they are now, raping the country to death, by only going with sure chances. Sometimes I feel like people only want a phone bank when it's 49-51, so they can feel good about ticking it over 2 points, you know? That doesn't work that way.
To sharing just a little bit more about my story, because I know that it is our story. I was raised by a single mom right here in Tucson. We relied on Section 8 to keep a roof over our head, SNAP benefits or food stamps just to put food and dinner on the table, and Medicaid so we could go to the doctors when we needed to. And when I was a teenager, things were rough. I worked at a gas station long nights, I was homeless, and I turned to Planned Parenthood for my care. It's the story so many of us
share. Is she a radical sockdem or a socialist? She became politically prominent initially through advocacy for Planned Parenthood and women's rights. I think that she is broadly left without a lot of policy specifics because she literally leapt into the candidacy very recently. What matters to me most is that she's young, aggressive, and populist. That's it. The policy differences to me are much less meaningful than the affect, which is the reason why I'm much more excited about her than the daughter of the previous incumbent, you know? Because it's all well and good to be a progressive if you're just going to sit in Congress and do what you're told. If you go in there, you need to be loud and bold, and we need to get more wins like this. We get more people in positions of power. They're young. They can be there for a long time. Grijalva was a Justice Dem, though. Yeah, and with all due respect to him, what did he do? See, we don't need people with left politics in the Democratic Party, at least not just that. What we need are people who have those left politics, but are ruthlessly aggressive and charismatic and work to upset and upend the establishment. Exactly. We need fighters. It's no disrespect to the incumbent, okay? But a new age is dawning, all right? The sun is breaking over this country. This country will not survive if the Democrats keep getting filled with the same stock, even if they're relatively left-leaning. That's why I've said I'm more excited for Mamdani, even as a mayor, than I am right now for Bernie Sanders. And I love Bernie Sanders, and I've always defended him. And I love and defend AOC as well. But there is a vibe shift, and we need to play into that.
Knowing that the people in D.C. have never lived the policies that they put in place. When I was a teenager, I needed a fighter, so I became one. I organized for better sex education here in Southern Arizona's largest school district and won. I went toe-to-toe with Republicans who attempted to defund Planned Parenthood centers where I got care when I had no money, no parents, and no insurance. I wasn't scared then, and I'm not scared now. When Washington isn't listening, when Republicans believe that they are above consequences and Democrats are all too comfortable, we have to ask the question, who are our electeds accountable to?
Do you know what it would mean for the vibe if she ended up winning? If the daughter of an incumbent in a district like this was able to step in at the last moment and sweep the vote?
And I'm not here because I have a legacy last name or corporate donors or billionaires backing me. None of that put me here. It was the 14,000 people that have contributed to our campaign, and I know their stories. They drive DoorDash after work to pitch in 20 bucks. They cash in their change jar when they're hardly making rent. These are people that know that gas is getting more expensive, and so is childcare and rent and groceries. They're people who send us $15 in a note saying, I'm putting 1 hour of my hard work behind your campaign. They are my mandate. You are why I am on this stage, and I promise you, I will be your fighter.
Thank you. And now Jose Melvin.
And I like your jacket. Very good.
Detention facilities. Donald Trump threatens to arrest his political opponents. And I ask you, do you think politicians and press releases are going to stand between this administration and your neighbors? I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust it.
Oh, to be fair, we should probably look at the opening statement from the daughter of the incumbent. Hold on. Actually, the photo on Google is quite old. I assume this is her. Her hair looks different, but
2 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you. Hola, buenas tardes. My name is Adelita Grijalva. We are in a critical...
All right, so you speak Spanish. Okay, so I grew up in LA and can't speak Spanish. All right.
Pivotal crossroads in our nation.
Making me feel bad.
We have a president that is using the military against civilians because they're exercising their right to protest. The most dangerous threat.
I want to be clear, by the way. I am not at all anti this woman, okay? I'm not anti this woman at all. I just want to make that clear. I am pro Deja Fox.
Our American democracy is Trump. He is the clear and present danger, and our survival of our democracy is at stake. Just today in Arizona, we saw ICE invade our communities and create fear and chaos. We are living through the consequences of electing a president who has surrounded himself with loyalists to Trump, not to the Constitution. Trump's power is dependent on suppressing those.
Bernie and AOC endorsed this woman. Yes, but their endorsements did come out, I believe, before Deja Fox even announced her candidacy, right? Or at least very shortly after, before her candidacy had any weight to it. You can't really take back an endorsement, at least not without looking like a jackass. So in this case, I think they're long before. Okay, their endorsements aren't really relevant to the dynamic.
Those in opposition of him. We are living through unethical, brutal, and inhumane attacks which are based on policies rooted in fear-mongering and scapegoating. I take this time to state unequivocally that I stand with the immigrant community. I stand with all immigrants. We are fighting for our future, the future of our youth, elders, women, LGBTQ, veterans, and our indigenous communities who have all been marginalized and pushed aside. We need leaders willing to call out injustice, take a position and a stand, and risk it all for the benefit of the people. We are facing a big fight.
Yeah, we get it. Sorry, I'm not anti-her. I just, if you make calls to action too long, you people all fall asleep or jerk off or something. I just want to see miracles happen. I think it would be representative of quite a vibe shift if Deja Fox won. I feel like her messaging is good. She's been powering through.
I didn't pick politics. Politics picked me.
She's dramatic.
I grew up a free lunch kid in our public schools right here in Tucson. Raised by a single mom, SNAP benefits, Section 8 housing, and Medicaid helped us make ends meet. I know what it feels like to have elected officials make decisions about the things you need to just get by. The way things have always been done isn't working, but I'm no stranger to the fight it's going to take to change them. As a teen, I experienced homelessness because of my mom's struggles with substance abuse. I balanced high school classes with long nights working at the gas station. But that's where I found my voice and our fight. From the halls of my school to the halls of power, I didn't.
She sounds too much like Kamala. This is not going to work. You're actually sexist. Thank you for showing up to once again provide a contrast between myself, simply an earnest critique of women, and you.
Back down when Trump Republicans voted to strip me and millions of others of essential care. Or when they rolled back the clock on our fundamental rights. And that's why I won't back down now. Because for me, it's personal.
Our power to make change, our power to be heard and seen.
I know that good policies lift people up because I've lived it. Investing in public education, defending reproductive rights, protecting social services, and creating affordable housing aren't just talking points. They're what made it possible for me to walk across the stage as the first in my family to graduate college. This is a fight for our future.
Graduating college, thus elevating her from the ruroid peasant brain and giving her the gift of leftist politics, yeah. Is this a standard primary or ranked runoff? It's standard. Anyway, look, okay? This is my pitch. This is my pitch, all right? I want to see a miracle happen. I know the odds, it's a long shot, but she's cool. Getting essentially like an incumbent, you know, descendant of an incumbent in, like on a last haul would be sick. We need a vibe shift. It's not enough to be left, okay? You have to be left and fiery. If you're consultant brained, I don't think you've got it. I don't think you can do it. You need to have the energy. So go ahead and phone bank. I mean, if you're in the area, you can canvass for her. Arizona's 7th. If you're in Arizona's 7th, you can canvass for her. But I want you to phone bank. Join up with Progressive Victory. Okay? I mean it. Please. It's only 4 days to the election. She's gone from being a nobody to, according to the most recent poll that I've seen, being within a single-digit margin. And even if she doesn't win, you know she'll try again in 2026, okay? We have to be doing this. We need... I want this stream. I want this channel. I want it to be a platform where you can signal boost and you can take these long shots, and not every single one of them is going to succeed. But if even only a few of them do, what if they're not American? Sign up anyway. Also, and I mean this, all right, your ass needs to donate to Progressive Victory, okay? You need to become a recurring donor. You need to give them money so you can get a shiny membership card, okay? And if you don't, I'm on to you. But I'm not just doing this as a push on PV. I mean it with the phone banking. Join up, progressivevictory.win, okay? You freeloading pieces of shit. Look at Arizona's 7th. We could control the entire southern border of Arizona. Then we could tear down the wall, exactly. She does seem nice, doesn't she?
And I know you've had some momentum lately, so that's exciting. I want to talk to you about all of that. So the district you're running for is deeply blue. For people who are just learning about it and starting to pay attention, a Republican has never won it. Grijalva was the champion of a lot of progressive causes. His daughter, your opponent, promises to do the same. So tell me and tell everybody watching, why did you decide to run, and what makes you and your platform and campaign different?
Yes, David Hogg did endorse her.
From your opponents. You are younger, but what else?
This race is personal for me. I wasn't born on that path to Congress. Instead, I was raised by a single mom in Tucson, and I grew up relying on food stamps, Medicaid, and Section 8 housing. It is everything that Republicans are trying to cut in real time. I have lived the policies they debate in D.C. It's what sets me apart from my opponent.
Yeah, see, David Hogg's PAC endorses Gen Z activist Aya Fox in Arizona special election. It's pretty good.
So many of the other folks who are voting on these issues right now. And, you know, it's true. I'm running against the daughter of the former congressman, and she inherited things like decades of D.C. connections, a legacy last name, and a donor list. But we are running to change politics as usual. And now we're neck and neck. I filed to run in April. I was alone in my bedroom without money or staff, just the belief that this moment really calls for something different. And since then, to give you a snapshot of the race, we have raised over $900,000 for more than 28,000 people. We have an average contribution of less than $28. That means it's families like mine getting into this race with us, and we have surged 25 points in just over a month. We've closed the gap. This is now a single-digit race within the margin of victory, and the consequences couldn't be bigger. We can replace one of the oldest members of Congress with the youngest and send a really loud and clear message that young and working class people are winners. And
But Voosh, does she think that Israel has the right to exist as a Jewish state? I mean, she hasn't really existed as a national figure for very long at all. Yeah, here. On her website's issue page, housing as a human right, economic justice and fair wages, childcare empowers family, protects social security. Foreign policy should be guided by empathy and international law, not endless wars, and the conflict in Gaza. Funds are used to wage war against civilians. Share priorities, long-term peace. Two-state solution, one where a secure Israel coexists with an independent democratic Palestine. That's probably the most you can get away with right now. Because the moral position to take on, not perfect, but I'll take it. I mean, what has Mamdani said? He hasn't called for a UN occupation of Israel, which is what we all know would be good and right. There are limits to what you can say. It's pretty obvious where her priorities are. What's her opponent's position? I don't know. Oh, she wants to pack the court. That's cool. She spoke at the 2024 DNC. Ah, no kidding. Yeah, she was a Kamala Harris staffer.
President who has our back. Not some power-hungry millionaire reality TV personality who only cares about...
Okay, she is talking a bit like Kamala Harris here.
...himself. We need Kamala Harris. She'll deliver a future where we can decide if and when...
Adelita was in AIPAC Latino outreach videos? No way, really? Bought and paid for how Adelita Grijalva became AIPAC's genocide spokesperson. AIPAC funded Israel trip. She went on an Israel trip before even become... Wait, did they really give her the Israel trip because they thought she was a shoo-in? Started an AIPAC promotional video after they funded a trip to Israel. When did it happen?
America and Israel for decades. They are the ties that bind Jews and Hispanics. Two peoples who understand suffering and
AIPAC
have yearned
Latino
for
story.
a better tomorrow.
In you, I see me. In Israel's story, I see my story.
Oh no.
A story of immigrants who have looked to a shining city on a hill as a beacon of hope.
A story which inspires me, motivates me, and serves as an example of the human spirit to triumph over despair.
In Israel's past, I see the past of Hispanic Americans like myself.
Mother and the entire community had created a safe and caring environment for his children.
I guess for anyone who was hinging their support on Fox based on who would be better on Israel, I guess that's your answer right there. I do want a source on the trip. When did the trip happen? Sign up to read a full article. No. This is the same.
Was on a visit to Sderot, Israel.
This was a Tucson Hispanic Chamber of Commerce event over a decade ago. Okay. Oh man. So they sent her on a trip to Israel like years and years. Tucson, sorry. Tucson, yes, I know. Thank you. They sent her on a trip to Israel years and years ago. They're playing the long game, man. I wish there was more information on this. Why did Bernie Sanders endorse her? Probably because she's more progressive than the other people in the race. I don't know if I fully trust an article that uses emojis. No, this article is made with rage in the heart of the writer, for sure. Jewish Insider link. You need to subscribe to read the article. He literally endorsed her. Guys, you're aware of the fact that, like, if Bernie couldn't work with people who have worked with AIPAC, he couldn't work with anyone in Congress, right? Like, AIPAC's in everyone's, like, you know they're everywhere, right? That's the whole point. They are in your walls. Tucson Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Oh, there it is. Yeah, AIPAC Latino story.
America and Israel for decades. They are the ties that
human spirit to triumph
of hope.
Motivates me over despair.
In Israel's past, I see the past of Hispanic Americans like myself. In its future, I see my future.
Each of us has an Israel story. That aha moment when our connection to the state of Israel became personal. When it transformed into a mission. For Arizona...
Really makes you wonder why the Tucson Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is showing a propaganda video from AIPAC on how like really Latin people and Israelis are hand in hand, you know? Each of us has an Israeli story. My abuela chased Palestinians out of their ancestral home during the Nakba.
Educator Adelita Grijalva. It was on a visit to Sderot, Israel. Adelita had made it her life's work to serve at-risk Hispanic youth in Tucson, to teach them that through personal sacrifice and determination, hopelessness, daughter.
Danger like this, I thought.
There.
So I asked, why do you live here? She responded, No child should have to live in danger like this, I thought. So I asked, why do you live here? She responded, why do you live in Tucson? Then I noticed something profound. She was smiling. At that second, I realized that this mother and the entire community had created a safe and caring environment for its children, in spite of the dangers. And why? Because it's their home. Because they had to. This is something I could relate to. This is something I could bring home with me. In essence, it was my community. That one moment in Sderot transformed the way I am helping at-risk kids improve their lives here in Tucson. Seeing Israel's resiliency firsthand has allowed me to have a greater impact within my own community.
So yeah, AIPAC sponsored a trip for the daughter of a congressman over to Israel so she could then do a propaganda video for the Chamber of Commerce in Tucson, talking about how her love of helping children was emboldened by seeing the, there's shit like this all over the f***ing government. Is she still good or is she compromised? Are you paying attention? This is the candidate we don't want to win.
No es solo un valor judío. Es un valor latino. Es un valor americano y mío.
This doesn't seem like a big ideological commitment or anything. Really? You think, like, if it turned out that a person at 45 years old accepted a flight from AIPAC over to Israel to then do a propaganda video for the Chamber of Commerce, like, which cynically weaponizes IDPOL to try to relate, like, Israel to Hispanic identity in southern Arizona? I don't know. I don't, like, it's, I know it was 10 years ago, but, like, okay, lots of things were 10 years ago. The year 2015, which was right before Trump got elected. I don't know. I feel like I can judge people from back then. And the only reason we're doing this is because some people in chat were spamming over and over, like, well, how does the Havocs feel about Israel-Palestine? Like, everybody has to be interrogated on this. So yeah, there we go.
For us, supporting Israel is not just a Jewish value. It is a Latino value.
You really want this woman in Congress right now in the Dems? Hey, we got a new progressive Democrat in Congress, guys. You, like, is this the moment?
Latino es un valor americano y mío. For us, supporting Israel is not just a Jewish value. It is a Latino value. It is an American value. Thank you. Gracias.
Yeesh. Very good. Very good. Oh, that was interesting. Only 457 views. Oh, sorry. This wasn't at the Tucson Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. This was just posted by them. It was at the 2011 AIPAC National Summit. Wow. That's crazy. National Summit? All right. Well, I'm glad they recorded it. This is crazy. I can't believe we ended up doing like opposition research. That's kind of crazy. I didn't think that would come up at all. Normally it's a little more, you know, contemporary. Well, yeah, so I guess to summarize, join Progressive Victory, Please God, and Phone Bank for Dia Fox, who is the elections in like 4 days. progressivevictory.win/volunteer. You can type that into your URL bar. Do you know people used to do that all the time? Type the URLs into the URL bar. Scroll to the bottom for her Israel stance. I mean, her stance doesn't matter to me. If she was brought to be a speaker at a national AIPAC summit, that tells me literally everything I need to know. They got to her when she was like a education supervisor. I mean, she wasn't even in national politics at the time. People-centered foreign policy. Restore foreign aid programs Trump gutted. Our policy approach with regard to current conflicts must be rooted in diplomacy. We need to work through international bodies and regional partners to bring an end to the violence in the Middle East and to the war in Ukraine. A just and lasting peace for Israelis and Palestinians depends on an immediate release of the remaining hostages in Hamas. Depends on captivity, rapid and complete restoration of humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, and setting the foundation for a two-state solution that recognizes the equal rights of Israelis and Palestinians to live peacefully and with opportunity. So they both mention two-state solution, but she says it relies first on Hamas releasing the hostages, which I don't know. Whereas Dea Fox doesn't and just says the hostages should be released, but that's not contingent. Are there any left? I don't know. There's probably a few corpses they haven't sent back. Well, anyway, that was wild. Like, for me right now, being, like, folding to AIPAC or being compromised by AIPAC in any sense is just a no-go. That's pretty bad. Even if it was 15 years ago. Like, you want me to believe it was only 15 years ago? Like, AIPAC just chose you to be a speaker at a national rally? Like, randomly? They just rolled the dice on everyone in the country and they chose you? I don't think so. Why does this even matter to the average Arizona voter? I mean, it matters to me, but also this is a national office. Unlike Mamdani, people in Congress need to have an opinion on foreign policy.